Our first speaker tonight is City of Milwaukie Council President Angel Falconer. In 2016, she was elected to City Council with a very simple message: looking out for the ones who are historically ignored. Her passion for inclusion and diversity make her the perfect counselor to address us tonight. She is always addressing the middle housing issue, affordable homes for the middle and lower income residents. Her passion is real. I was in a meeting with her when someone said, smaller housing will lead to poor people and create ghettos. After the person finished, Councilor Falconer bravely confronted him. She said that this way of thinking must end, that all people deserve the right to be housed, regardless of income. She also stated that language like ghettos just deprive and historically chastise those who are just trying to be residents and good citizens, just like you and me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Council President Angel Falconer.
I'd like to begin with an acknowledgement. The City of Milwaukie respectfully acknowledges that our community is located on the ancestral homeland of the Clackamas people. In 1855, the surviving members of the Clackamas signed the Willamette Valley Treaty, also known as the Kalapuya Treaty, with the federal government in good faith. We offer our respect and gratitude to the indigenous people of this land. The treaty resulted in the forced removal of the Clackamas people from their ancestral homelands, here along the Willamette River to the Grand Ronde Reservation. Despite this removal and subsequent federal actions, including stripping the tribe of its federal recognition between 1954 and 1983, tribal members have maintained their connection to this ancestral homeland. I share this acknowledgement with you because I believe that knowing our past helps us understand better our present and also provides us with a compass to make a better and more just future. 5 minutes is not nearly enough time to explore all of Milwaukee's rich history, but I wanted to share a few snapshots with you from events that I think have made a lasting impact on our community, especially in the area of housing. Oregon has a reputation as a tolerant, welcoming state. However, its establishment as a U.S. territory, since its establishment, Oregon has a long history of laws that discriminated against people of color. And it wasn't very long ago that people of African descent were forbidden from living in many parts of our region, including right here in Milwaukie. This is the 1941 warranty deed for properties in Ardenwald. It includes a racially restrictive covenant, and it encumbered my home in Milwaukie. Like I said, it wasn't very long ago that people of color were forbidden from living here. And below is language from the deed for my property in Ardenwald. And it includes the covenant that barred anyone except he be a member of the white race from purchasing or renting any dwelling in my neighborhood, and none that cost less than $2,000. So they were pretty explicit in trying to make sure that they were going to segregate based on housing, based on race and income, right here in Milwaukie. Eventually, courts rendered such racial restrictions unenforceable, and these explicitly racist laws were replaced with policies and practices that would have the same discriminatory impact. To that end, Secretary of Commerce Herbert Hoover convened a federal committee made of outspoken segregationists to craft exclusionary zoning laws and to pass them down to local jurisdictions for adoption. Indeed, on June 24th, 1946, Milwaukie did exactly that. It adopted Ordinance Number 481, which had the effect of maintaining racial and economic segregation. These discriminatory housing policies were adopted all across this country, and together with other policies, had the effect of preventing generations of Black Americans from accessing the opportunities and wealth that were given to white Americans. Despite white settlers' efforts to create a white utopia, by displacing Indigenous people and legally excluding Black people from living here. And despite the ongoing system of institutional racism that continues to create barriers today, Black Americans, pioneers, and trailblazers have resisted, establishing communities, homes, businesses, challenging these racist laws and beliefs that sought to keep them out, including right here in Milwaukie. We are honored to be here today with all of you and with some of those very trailblazers. And we have the great fortune of hearing from Dorothy and Curtis Hadley, who operated the first African-American owned full-line bakery in Oregon and the first African-American owned business here in Milwaukie. Thank you for joining us today. As a proud parent of a North Clackamas School District student, I am eternally thankful for the steadfast leadership of Libra Ford, who was the first Black woman elected to our school board. Thank you for being here today. And I extend my special thanks and to dedicated volunteers like Kim Moreland of the Oregon Black Pioneers, who helped tell a more complete story of Oregon than most of us Americans were taught growing up. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, the OPB Oregon Experience, Oregon Black Pioneers. It's a short watch. I really, really highly recommend it. I can only scratch the very surface of this history. There's so much more to learn. And thank you very much for coming here tonight and helping to share some of that with us. So I believe we honor their work and these Trailblazers' contributions, not only by learning about our history, but also by recognizing how that history shapes where we are today, and also by committing to doing better in the future, including by dismantling the types of systems that were designed to separate us. Thank you.